Hey guys, welcome back to 10 Minute English with May. And this is a continuation of what we did last time, changing our adjective clauses to our reduced clause or participle phrase. So namely, we want to cross out the relative pronouns as subject and change the verb to a present participle if it is active, and past participle if it is passive, and keep the punctuation the same. All right. So number one, Venus, who was noted for her beauty, was married to Vulcan, the god of fire and the ugliest of the Greek gods. So in this case, we can see this is non-essential adjective clause. If you remember, we have inserted commas for non-essential because we already know who Venus is. That's the Roman name for Aphrodite. All right. And we want to cross out the who because that's the subject. And our verb is was noted. If you remember, whenever we have be verb plus past participle, it is a passive voice verb. So what we have to do is just cross out the be verb, and that is our participle phrase. Venus, comma, noted for her beauty, comma, was married to Vulcan. And if you remember the phrases that we talked about, the phrase after Vulcan, the god of fire and the ugliest of the Greek gods, that is actually our non-essential appositive, right? Okay. And when you are changing your sentences, combining your sentences, making one into adjective clause or participle phrase, you want to make sure that the main idea stays your independent clause. So in this case, Venus was married to Vulcan. That is the main idea. And that is why it's independent, not dependent. All right. And number two, the seven-story mountain, which was written by Thomas Merton. Again, this is non-essential adjective clause with inserted commas and relative pronoun which describes his journey from his student days to the time of his decision to become a monk. Okay, so the first thing we do is cross out which, and our verb is was written. Again, you see that be verb plus past participle. Remember, some students, when they identify their verbs, they do it kind of a half-ass way, right? They say written is the verb. No, it's a participle. Write, wrote, written. Okay, so since this is passive, we do it like we did number one, cross out the be verb, and voila, right? Seven-story mountain, comma, written by Thomas Merton, describes his journey. Okay, pairs of inserted commas. Number three, Robert C. Weaver, who was appointed Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, was the first Black member of a presidential cabinet. So same thing, non-essential, because we already know who you're talking about. Like number 1, 2, and 3, do you see how the noun being modified? The antecedent, they are all proper nouns. So there is no confusion here. Okay, so I cross out the who. My verb is was appointed, both verbs, and this is be verb plus past participle, and that means this is passive voice, so I cross out the be verb. Appointed Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. All right, and number 4, deciduous trees. That means trees with leaves, not needles, which block the hot summer sun and cold winter winds, right? And whenever we have which, like number 2, we know this is non-essential with inserted commas. So first thing we do, cross out the which is the subject, and then block. There's no be verb plus past participle, so this is active voice. So we have to change the block to blocking, present participle, right? And number 5, Bangladesh, which ranks 9th in population among the countries of the world. So this is our non-essential adjective clause, relative pronoun, which is non-essential. So we cross out the which, And ranks, again, no be verb plus past participle. So we know this is active voice. So we change it to ranking, present participle. Okay, and you can see all the punctuation marks remain unchanged. And that is it for today. Bye-bye.